Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of People of Media. And today I get to hang out with my homie, Logan Aguirre. Logan, welcome to the show.
Hi, Johnny. So good to see you. I
It's
got
good
to
to-
see you in real life like last week, so this is exciting that I've at least it isn't all virtual for us, right?
I made a rare appearance from the shadows.
You
Yes,
did. It was very exciting.
yes, it was fun. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and 417?
Sure, yes. I'm the publisher owner of 417. We are a regional media brand in Southwest Missouri. We are for the Ozarks. We're in our 27th year of business. I've been here 19 of those, and I purchased the business from my family in 2020. So September 1st will come up on 5 years of ownership. And we have about 25 team members. We've got print, digital, events, thought leadership programs that we've built out. So we're really focused on expanding our revenue, what I call beyond the page. So
Yeah,
on the page has been our bread and butter for a really long time. And over the last several years, we've been working really strategically to continue to diversify our beyond the page revenue.
yeah. And you won't say this about yourself, so I'll say this. Logan is definitely considered a thought leader within the city regional magazine space. You were the chair of the CRMA organization? Yes.
I will be like in 28 or something, but no, right now
Okay.
I'm just on the board.
Okay, you're on the
Yeah.
board.
Hmm.
But I know that people look to 417 as an example of what
Thank
thriving
you.
looks like.
Thank you.
And so why are you thriving? Why would you say or would you say you're thriving?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I guess it's like, what's your benchmark? But
Yeah.
I would say if we're comparing to ourselves and we're comparing to the strides we've made and hitting our benchmarks and our goals that we've set for our business, we've been very strategic in our planning. We play the great game of business, which is something I'm really passionate about, but it's a business operating system where you open the books and you meet with your team. We meet as a company every single Wednesday at 9 a.m. and we forecast our numbers and we talk about them. And when you're that transparent and you're looking out ahead, you're able to catch things before they don't go well. If something's not going well, you're able to bring in some contingency plans, but it multiplies the brain power and it makes sure that everybody has line of sight to what's happening and see how they can impact it. That's been a huge game changer for us. And it also really helped us go from a startup vibe from when my parents owned it
Yep.
to a business operating system that could sustain us into the future. And it helped us get really clear on our COGS and our expenses
Yep.
and our profit margin and how we price. And so we're really dialed in on our financials, which helps us make better long-term decisions because we're not so worried about the short term all the time.
Yes. Now I'm making a connection here. I did not know that Great Game of Business was a business operating system. I knew it was an initiative that you could take on or something you could participate in like a game. I did not know like traction. I think of traction when I
Yep,
think business operating system. I did
that's
not
how
know
it
that it
is.
was in that
Yes.
tier.
A lot of people that play traction end up adding, like, integrating the game because it's a really good financial piece and a lot of similar cadence and that kind of thing to traction.
Yeah. So you can do both. You can do
A lot
traction
of people
and
do both. Yep.
okay, but you don't. You just do the
We
game.
do some elements of traction, but there's so many things built into the game that help us with that constant cadence in leadership planning, um, your key objectives, your goals. There's a lot. We're super ingrained with Great Game, like we're all in,
Yeah.
and so we haven't needed a lot of extra. Um, I don't know what to call it,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
extra
Systems.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Structures. Yeah.
it's yeah, the extra structure.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So moving on, we're going to talk about you a little bit. So what are you passionate about? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm passionate about telling stories and telling really positive, great stories that um, hopefully cast a vision, encourage someone to act on something. Maybe they try something they never tried before. They try an activity, a restaurant, they meet someone they wouldn't have met before because of our products. And then I really am passionate about creating opportunities where I see them, where our brand can deliver on something that our community needs.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're a visionary, right? Because those
Yes.
all sound like visionary things.
Yeah. And I'm happiest when I can live in my visionary land but
I know.
oh,
Yeah. Don't try to
Yeah.
pull me down from the clouds. You got to let me
Yes.
stay up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So telling stories, creating opportunities. Tell me about the telling stories part. When did you when? How did that show up when you were a kid? Like the love of telling stories.
I think it was my love of listening to my family tell stories. My
Yeah.
grandfather was an amazing storyteller, and no matter where we went, he would always have like people surrounding him, listening to him, and I just loved clinging to every word. And my aunts and uncles are very much the same way. My mom is a great storyteller, my brother, and so I just, kind of wanted to emulate and be able to do what they did. And then, of course, going to journalism school, it's just, that's part of what you do is you get to tell the story. And so I look for the story in everything. So when I'm meeting someone or I'm hearing about their business, like I'm constantly thinking like, oh, that's a great story. Or how could that tie back to this other story? It's just my lens that I see everything.
Oh man. So that's cool. Did you see the interview I did with Jessica Klein by any chance? Or do you know Jessica Klein over at
No,
Phoenix Magazine?
no, I need to watch it.
Oh my goodness. You're
Okay.
gonna vibe with what she said, the way she answered some
Okay.
of these questions, and the way she talked about story as the heart of a local media organization.
It
But
absolutely is. Yeah.
I hear that, and I picture you just as a little girl, just snuggled up on your granddad's lap and just listening to him tell stories, and then you're being formed by that, right? I don't think we all know, like we're being formed by those moments.
Yes. Yeah.
So how did that translate to love of local media, specifically city regional media?
I started my career in New York in marketing and PR, and my parents, I grew up in a media household, I guess I
Yep.
should say. So my
Yep.
dad was in TV news, my mom was in PR and marketing. We moved all over the country following my dad's career. I loved everything about TV. I mean, everything that I got to go to work with him, I got to work there. I loved everything about it. But when I was choosing at Mizzou whether I wanted to do broadcast or advertising, I ultimately chose the advertising, which they call strategic communications now, because I didn't want to be moving around my whole life. I really wanted to stay somewhere and plant. And what the word rooted is a word that comes to me a lot when I think about our brand and when I think about the importance of what we are doing in when you look at the whole landscape of how much things are changing. I think there's as things get more artificial and more curated and more all of this, we're all just going to continue to want to know like what are we rooted to? What does it mean to be of where we are? How do we stay connected to other people? How do we get connected to how beautiful the outdoors are here? And our brand has the opportunity to make people feel rooted in something and not just a tangible magazine, but truly like an identity for our region and opportunities where community and connection, you know, that corner, that's where our brand is. But I see where we have the power to really shape our region's identity. We
Yep.
can inspire pride in place,
Yep.
and our community is growing, and we're really are as a region, we're really ripe for um, someone to really name what's special about here and continue to tell that story. And luckily, we get to be at the heart of that.
I love that you said something like this. Opportunity is at the intersection between community and connection.
Yeah,
Was that?
that's where I see our brand. Like, that's where I want to be when there's community and connection. Like, I want our brand to be right there.
Yeah. Well, and I think you probably say that you are. Yeah.
We are. And I have more ideas of how we could continue to be. But for now, yes, we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would love. Will you tell the story that you told me about? Somebody told you you are the community. You said that you were going.
Sure.
Will
Oh,
you
yeah.
tell that story? Because I think that fits very well with what you just said as an
This
illustration.
was, well, part of the great game. One of the practices is every few years you go interview your key stakeholders. So you look at, so for me, we went through our top 10 categories of business, who's the top of those categories in terms of spending advertising dollars with us. And then you ask them a very specific set of questions that the great game tells you to ask. But it's part of when you're doing your strategic planning, making sure you have input from all your stakeholders. And this was as we were like, I would say in Missouri, we were kind of coming out of the pandemic. A lot of places were still full in it. but I was meeting with our top car dealer who is in all of our magazines, sponsors all of our events. They've been with us forever.
Yeah.
And he was telling me how they had pulled everything. They pulled billboards, radio, TV. And I almost was afraid to tell him that, like, oh God, does he know he's still paying us? And so I finally said, you're still in all of our products. And he's like, oh, well, yeah. I'm like, and I said, can I ask why? And he said, well, you guys are the community. He's like, I want the community to know that we're here and we're a community supporter, and that's what you guys are. And it was pivotal for me because we had never positioned. That's not how we talked about ourselves, especially when we were selling. We very much lead with audience and how we reach them, but never really just framing it as like we're the community cheerleader. And it helped us, I would say, turn everything into, like, we just did a full rebrand last year, a whole redesign.
Yep.
Everything about the way we talk about ourselves, the way we to our audience, but also our advertisers, really because, and he wasn't the only one that said it. It just kept coming up. But he was really the one who made it like so clear, like, oh, it's a no-brainer. You guys are the community.
Yeah. Yeah. And what an honor, like for a community to say that about you, right? It's not you're saying it now because your community said it about you, right? They believed it. So you had to actually be it before you could start going around saying it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You have to earn it, right?
Yeah, you have to earn it. Now, how did you earn it? Because that was a part of the story you told me.
Oh God, I don't remember what I said.
What did I tell you? I'll prompt you.
Okay.
You were talking about you were going out and doing all these things in the community, and they weren't necessarily revenue generating things, and you were like, why am I doing that?
Yeah. There's a lot of shining out, and I would say that was an intentional choice a few years before that, as I came into more and more leadership, really about, like, it's not about us, it's not pointing the spotlight on us, we're shining out, we're elevating other people, and my community leadership definitely ramped up. I got a lot more involved, showing up at a lot more things, and always wearing red. So it's our brand color, and everything that, like, our Jeep is red, everything we do is red. Yeah. And it makes it, we just sort of own that color in our market.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man, that's amazing. It's that you telling me that story actually was probably one of my top 5 most clarifying moments, because I'm always asking. I'm so curious, right? So I'm always asking the question. Okay, well, what is local media? What is the city regional magazine? Like, what? It's a complicated equation, but at the core, if you get to the bottom of it, what is the city regional magazine in a community? Mm-hmm. And when you said we are the community, it clicked for me. I was like, that's it. That's the thing that y'all can be, mm-hmm. that nobody else can be if it's done right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like you just have to continue to authentically show up as the cheerleader of your area.
Yeah. Yeah. Now,
and that doesn't mean we don't talk about hard things. It doesn't mean we don't cover hard things. It doesn't mean in our business magazine that we don't cover hard things, or that at our events we don't have tough topics on stage, but it's always done from a place of hope and a place of, okay, so what can we do about it? And who are the people that can make it happen?
Well, this is even in my own life, like, just beyond business, all this other stuff. I've been thinking about, okay, when things are crazy or when things are bad, we still get to choose how we show up, right? Yep. We can show up in fear, like around that corner, there could be a monster around that corner, or there could be $1 million around that corner. But I still don't know until I get to the corner, and I got to live my life up to that corner.
Right.
So how am I going to live it? I could live it in fear of a monster, or I could live it in hope for $1 million. And either way, I'm going to have to deal with whatever it is. But, living in hope, I like that better.
Yeah, absolutely. I read a quote, something like, fear can ride along, but it's not driving.
Yeah,
it's not driving the car.
Yep. Come on, preach it. You go preach it. So I would say I would posit that there are tough decisions you had to make in order to authentically become the community. And I actually have gotten a ride along for one of those, where I watched you make a very, very difficult call not to publish a piece to your own financial harm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I watched you die. I was like, that lady's for real. Like, this isn't just this is just what she's talking about. Like when it comes down to it, and like actually money's on the line, you still made the decision. Can you tell us a little bit about those moments and the guiding principles that help you recognize those moments?
You know, my mom and dad are both like have like the utmost integrity. And my mom always said, like, do what you said you would do. Do what you said you would do. And so that always runs in the back of my mind. So it's like, if we say that we're trusted and that integrity is one of our core values, like, is this in integrity of who we are? And would the audience trust this?
Yeah.
And in the case that you're talking about, I don't remember all the details, but yeah, we basically had some data that
Yeah.
wasn't, for whatever reason,
Lining up. Yeah.
it wouldn't have been right to publish it. We didn't feel that it was 100% accurate, and it was in one of our biggest issues. So we pivoted and we didn't run the data, but we ran some stories instead. And I actually called I called a lot of stakeholders that issue, it was our top doctor's issue, that it meant a lot to. And I think it ended up earning it. Not that I did it. I only did it just to say, hey, I know this is important to you. Here's why we're not doing it. I earned so much, like almost like people saying thank you. And I think
Yeah.
it really reflected even better on the brand. And I always think that anytime you can just telling the truth can really, I mean, so many people want to like hide and create stories. And it's like, I have always found if you just apologize, own your mistake, and are sincere about it, a lot of people will give you a lot of grace. And
Yeah.
honestly, then I think because there's not that much of that anymore, it earns you a lot of favor and kind of builds a whole new level of trust.
Yep. Yep. I agree with that. And you know, there's what you try to be, and there's what you say you are, and then there's what you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we live in a world where it's easy to get away with what we say for a while, for a time. But at the end of the day, for any organization, my organization, your organization, any organization, we're going to have to like take a hard look at what we actually are. And
Yeah.
the world will respond to that more than it will respond to what we say we are.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just giving you props. I'm giving you props
Well,
because
thanks, Johnny. That's so nice. You have such a great memory. I'm like, I don't know how you remember all these things.
Well, now because
I'm
it marked
impressed.
me. It marked me though, because like I'm telling you, because I listen a lot.
Yeah, you
And
do.
and I hear a lot of great things, but then there are moments where you hear something that like brands you or marks you, and that is foundational to my understanding of the future of local media and what success looks like within local media and why some are thriving when they shouldn't be, right? And why some aren't. And I think it has something to do with, are you the community? Are you? Do you say you are, or are you?
Yeah.
And those are different.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
What advice would you give? So man, we're in a wild time in history. We talk about it all the time, right? A lot of disruption, a lot of change, technological disruption. What advice would you give to another publisher, another leader who's leading a regional publication in a time such as this?
I mean, a couple of things. First, we've really surrounded ourselves with some really smart people, people way smarter than me who are at the forefront of what's happening. And like a Melissa Channing, who you
Yeah.
interviewed, and she was on a few weeks ago. We've been working with Melissa for several years. And, when I saw her at CRMA, I said, like, she's so ingrained in AI, all the shifts in search, everything that's happening. Then she's telling our team, okay, guys, so here's what's coming down the pike, and here's what we're going to do about it. And here's the strategies we're going to implement. And like, that's not something I could afford to have on staff. I could not afford to have that kind of expert. I don't even know where I would find someone with her expertise specifically in our industry, in our market.
Yeah.
And so, I see her as a part of our team.
Yeah.
And there's I have other mentors that I talk to a lot that are also in these spaces. And our team is going through a whole AI training right now, which has been awesome. So I think just making sure that you're staying up on all of that and you don't have your head in the sand. And then, you know, looking for the opportunities. It's like every time something goes away, room opens for something new.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of mindset I have, and I love to think of the new things. And that's where I get energy, and then hopefully can bring that back to my team. And a lot of that is from listening to what people are asking for. And so this is like something I'm working on is like a super fun menopause event for the ladies of 417 land. That's all my friends are talking about.
Yeah.
And we have tons of advertisers in that category. And so it's like, okay, this is a perfect place for our brand to show up. No one's owning that conversation here. It's our core demo, our advertisers, and we could make it so fun. Another example is like Biz 417. We have access to like some of the best thought leaders and business leaders in our market.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing, you know, this leadership gap. You've got people retiring, and then the new ones, they just don't have that experience yet. So
Yep.
so we've created like a 6-month, almost like crash course called the Legacy Network, that our brand, you apply for it, we select you, we pair you with a business mentor in our community that you admire, and all the classes are taught by these local business leaders. It's 6 half-day sessions. We just wrapped it, and it was a huge revenue opportunity for us. We got
Yeah.
great response, but it's like, where are these things intersecting, and where can our brand serve in that
Yeah.
way? And
Yeah.
so I think you just have to think beyond the page. That's my biggest, like, our core product, like, we know how to do that. We've done it forever. Like, we got it. We got it.
Yeah.
Now we have to create capacity to do new things. And I think there's endless possibilities for how our brand can continue to grow and make an impact in our region. It's just going to be different than what we've ever done before. But that's where I like to play.
Right. Yeah, you're comfortable with that, which, you know, not you have a particular gift that gifts you to be that way, to be comfortable. I have so many more questions, but we'll do it again. This is just part one.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I love the takeaway. I love that multifaceted takeaway, and you know, everybody, thank you for joining us that came to this point, and Logan, thank you for spending your precious time, you know, spitting that wisdom to people.
Hey, I always enjoy talking to you, Johnny. It's always a pleasure.
All
Always
right.
a mood boost.
Yeah, all right, I'm glad. That's what I want. All right, thanks. It's mutual. Thank you. All right,
Okay,
everybody.
talk to you
Until next
soon.
time.
All right.